Firon was the ruler of Egypt, a land of great rivers, cities, and wealth. He had strong armies and complete control over his people. Over time, power entered his heart and destroyed his humility. He no longer saw himself as a servant of Allah, but as someone above all others. Firon gathered his people and proudly declared, "I am your highest lord." With these words, he did not only oppress people, but openly challenged Allah. He believed his kingdom would never fall and that no power could overcome him. But Firon did not know that arrogance is always the beginning of destruction. To protect his power, Firon divided the people of Egypt into groups. He weakened one group completely, the people of Bani Israeel. He forced them into slavery and made them perform the hardest labor. Firon ordered that their newborn sons be killed, while their women were kept alive for humiliation and service. Fear, pain, and sadness filled their lives every day. They had no army, no weapons, and no voice. But in their suffering, they turned to Allah. Their cries were quiet, but Allah heard every one of them. Allah never ignores the oppressed. One night, Firon saw a terrifying dream. In the dream, a fire came from the land of Bani Israel and traveled across the land. It entered Egypt and reached Firon's palace, destroying it completely. When Firon woke up, fear filled his heart. He called the interpreters, and they told him that a boy from Bani Israel would one day destroy his rule. From that moment, Firon became even more cruel. He ordered the killing of every newborn boy from Bani Israel. Firon believed he could stop destiny, but Allah's plan cannot be stopped. During this time of fear and killing, a baby boy was born from Bani Israel. His name was Musa. His mother was terrified because soldiers were searching houses for newborn boys. She did not know how to protect her child. Then Allah placed calmness in her heart and inspired her with guidance. Allah told her to place her baby into the river and promised that she should not fear or grieve. Allah promised that her child would be returned to her and would become a messenger. Trusting Allah, she prepared to let go. With trembling hands but strong faith, Musa's mother placed him into a wooden box and set it upon the river. The river flowed calmly, carrying the child away from danger. What looked like loss was actually protection. The water did not drown Musa, nor did it remove him from Allah's care. By Allah's command, the river carried Musa directly toward the palace of Firon. The palace that killed children would now protect the child who would destroy Firon's rule. The wooden box reached Firon's palace and was found by Firon's wife. When she opened it, Allah placed mercy in her heart. She felt love for the child and asked Firon not to kill him. Firon agreed, not knowing that his enemy was now inside his home. Allah then returned Musa to his real mother as a nurse, so her heart would be at peace. Musa grew up safely inside the palace of the ruler who wanted him dead. When Musa became a grown man, strong in body and character, he once saw a fight between two men. He struck one man without intending to kill him, but the man died. Musa immediately felt regret and asked Allah for forgiveness. As danger increased and people searched for him, Musa was warned to leave Egypt. He left everything behind and walked alone into the desert. He had no wealth, no army, and no support, only trust in Allah. After many years in Madian, Musa traveled back toward Egypt. On the way, he saw a fire on a mountain. When he approached it, Allah spoke to him. Allah chose Musa as a prophet and messenger. Allah gave him clear signs, a wooden rod that could turn into a living serpent, and a hand that shone with bright light. Allah commanded Musa to return to Firon and warn him, because Firon had crossed all limits. Musa returned to Egypt by Allah's command and stood before Firon with calm dignity. He called Firon to worship Allah alone and to free Bani Israel from oppression. Firon mocked him and accused him of magic. Musa showed the signs Allah had given him, but Firon refused to believe. Truth stood clearly before arrogance, and arrogance refused to bow. Firon gathered the magicians and challenged Musa publicly. The magicians threw their ropes and rods, and people were amazed by the illusion. Then Musa threw his wooden rod, and it became a real serpent, swallowing all their false magic. The magicians knew this was not magic. They fell in prostration and believed in the Lord of Musa and Harun. Firon threatened them, but their faith did not shake. Allah sent clear signs upon Egypt: floods, locusts, lice, frogs, and water turning into blood. Each time, Firon promised to change, and each time he broke his promise. His heart became harder with every sign. He saw the truth but refused to accept it. Allah commanded Musa to leave Egypt at night with Bani Israeel. Firon chased them with his army. When they reached the sea, Allah commanded Musa to strike it with his wooden rod. The sea split into paths, and Bani Israeel crossed safely. Firon followed them, but when the sea closed, Firon began to drown. He believed only at death, and it was too late. Allah preserved his body as a sign for all generations. This story is not only history, it is a warning and a lesson. Firon had power, but no humility. Musa had faith, and Allah supported him. Pride leads to destruction, and trust in Allah leads to safety. May Allah protect our hearts from arrogance and guide us to the straight path. Ameen.